Inselmilkom, sinjuri, illum ix-xandira qed issir minn taslima. Sa nibdew billi nagħtu ħarsa u naraw analiżi tal-laqa li saret għal mexejja madwar id-dinja ta' COP27. Illum sa nitkellmu ma' Assaad Razzouk li huwa kap eżekuttiv ta' Green Energy, pjattaforma li tifoka fuq proġetti ta' enerġija rinnovabbli. Dr. Razzouk rebaħ numru ta' premijiet prestiġjużi fuq proġetti dwar it-tibdil tal-klima u imsemmi fost l-aqwa 50 pionieri għal ħidma tiegħu fuq l-ambjent. Ġie msemmi wkoll fost l-aqwa 20 CEO li huma l-aktar influenti fid-dinja. Il-ktieb tiegħu Saving the Planet Without the Bullshit se jiġi ppubblikat din is-sena.
Let's take a quick tour through the history of these climate talks. The global legal construct, if you will, around climate change was born in 1992 when something called the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was negotiated at the UN Conference on Environment and Development. Now, that UN Conference on Environment and Development is more commonly known as the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. So that's all the way back in 1992. Most countries agreed then that we are interfering with the Earth's climate by pumping enormous quantities of climate-warming gases into the atmosphere. All the way back in 1992, most countries agreed that the gases, in turn, interfered with our natural climate cycles, therefore threatening in time more floods, droughts, extreme heat, etc. than we can handle. They also understood all the way back then that there was increased risk of the Arctic and the Antarctic ice melting, of rapidly shrinking glaciers in the Himalayas, and of sea levels rising. And you may not remember her, but many years before Greta Thunberg, there was Severn Suzuki. Severn founded an environmental children's organization in 1989. She was 9 at the time. 3 years later, so now aged 12, she attended the very same Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro that I was describing. There, she became famous as the girl who silenced the world for 5 minutes. Why? Because unimpressed by all the heads of state and government officials there, she said in her speech that she was
afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone. I'm afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct every day, vanishing forever. In my life, I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child, and I don't have all the solutions. But I want you to realize, neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it.
And frankly, 3 decades later, she should still be afraid. Now, that 92 Earth Summit was a historic first.
Issa se ngħaddu għal servizz ta' Net News.
Għalkemm fl-aħħar jiem kien hemm dubji jekk kien se jattendi għal COP27, il-Prim Ministru tar-Renju Unit Rishi Sunak fl-aħħar sigħat wasal fl-Eġittu f'dik li l-ewwel opportunità tiegħu sabiex jibni relazzjonijiet b'saħħithom ma' pajjiżi oħra u biex flimkien jieħdu azzjoni dwar il-bidla fil-klima. Sunak jittama wkoll il-preżenza tiegħu għal dan is-summit tpoġġi lir-Renju Unit f'lenti pożittiva wara dak kollu li ġara fix-xena politika Brittanika tul dawn l-aħħar xhur. Huwa diġà kellu laqat mal-President tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea Ursula von der Leyen u mal-Prim Ministru Taljan Giorgia Meloni fost oħrajn. Fid-diskors tal-ftuħ, il-President tal-Eġittu qal li d-dinja qed taffaċċja problema kbira wara l-oħra u għalhekk insista li waqt dan is-summit il-pajjiżi għandhom ħidma kbira qudiemhom sabiex jimplementaw kemm jistgħu affarijiet sabiex id-dinja tmur għall-aħjar. Waqt dan is-summit s'issa diġà tkellmu diversi mexxejja ta' pajjiżi differenti, attivisti tal-bidla fil-klima kif ukoll esperti li kollha saħqu fuq l-importanza li jkollna arja aktar nadifa. L-Eġittu insista illi lan ta' din il-konferenza għandu jibqa' wieħed sabiex jiġu implementati l-wedijiet li saru is-sena li għaddiet waqt il-laqgħa ta' Glasgow. Għalkemm sorsijiet jindikaw li din id-darba is-summit se jkun ferm aktar diffiċli għaliex se jikxef id-diverġenzi li hemm bejn diversi pajjiżi. Preżenti fl-Eġittu hemm 120 mexxej minn madwar id-dinja kollha u total ta' 45,000 persuna illi jinkludu delegazzjonijiet internazzjonali. Intant, qabel il-ftuħ tas-summit, l-attivista popolari Greta Thunberg ikkonfermat li mhux se tattendi għal COP27 għaliex il-pajjiżi qatt ma jiddiskutu l-akbar kriżijiet li hawn bħalissa.
The climate talks are sponsored by the largest plastic polluter in the world, Coca-Cola, a corporate giant that makes 4,000 plastic bottles from oil every second. That's 4,000 bottles from plastic, from oil, every second. Meanwhile, as the climate talks concerned with fighting back against the climate emergency continue, a lot of the same participants, specifically the major oil companies, are on track to increase oil production. A report by an NGO called Oil Change International, just out and headlined Investing in Disaster, shows the precise breakdown of the top companies actively making the climate emergency worse. Here are the top 10. First is Saudi Aramco. Second is the National Iranian Oil Company. Third is Total, the French. Fourth is CNNOC, the Chinese. Then it's at number 5, Petrobras, the Brazilians. Chevron is at number 6, Shell at 7, Exxon at 8, Italy's Eni at 9, and ConocoPhillips at 10. All of them are pushing new oil and gas to ensure that we definitely breach 2 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial times, now that we're certain that we are breaching 1.5 degrees centigrade. Now, all these companies, of course, are at the annual climate talks, because why not? Nothing is going to happen at COP27, because if you're looking for climate action, it's elsewhere.
Sinjuri, dik kienet analiżi fuq l-ambjent minant pionier fuq l-ambjent Assaad Razzouk. Jekk għandkom xi kummenti bħas-soltu ibatuhom permezz tal-WhatsApp fuq in-numru li qed taraw fuq l-iskrin. Ninsabu hawnhekk fil-qalba ta' taslima kif tistgħu taraw qiegħda barra il-binja fejn jintaqgħu is-soċjetà fil-Harmonika ta' Stella Maris. Din is-soċjetà parti mill-komunità hawnhekk qed tiġi medda bħalissa u għalhekk sa nintaqgħu magħhom u sa naraw kemm huma importanti dawn is-soċjetajiet fil-kultura tagħna.